you now approach.
Hello and welcome everyone. I am your Heavenly Father. This is the live stream. This is just going to be casual tonight. Let me turn my own volume down. I came out booming today. I've had a busy day. I think the economy's back. How do I know this? Personal anecdote. If you've been watching for a while, it has been pulling teeth just to get an audition in this town. Yesterday and today, by noon today, I had 7 different auditions due. I had so many auditions, I thought I had 6. And then at about 11 o'clock today, I said, I better just check, make sure that I didn't. And at 10:51, or sorry, so at noon, I had 1 due. And at 11:51, I was done editing the video. I shot it, put it together, edited it, checked the sound, watched it, compressed it for the web. 10:51, boom, load that puppy up. And my internet was gone. Just gone. Only on the computer I used to edit. Only on that computer. Gone. So I had to transfer it to, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Well, you can go to bed anytime. Jessica, you can watch it in the morning. Genesis agrees. Sorry it's so late tonight, guys. I mean, I don't control time and space, just space. But it's been a day. I just went out for a walk with my lovely heavenly daughter. Can I just say that I am so glad that so many things are happening in this country that are good. There are so many things right now. When we were looking at a picture right now of Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Let me get rid of that because that's a thing that's happening that's very, very bad. Let me pull that down. There we go. Oh, see? Much, much worse. Thanks to Marcy, we might watch an interview with her with Newsmax, Marjorie Green. I don't even know when it's from, but we'll take a look at it. I did not get a new camera. I cleaned my glasses. That's why I look so crisp. Hi, Jessica. Congratulations, David, on being first. Congratulations, Christopher, on being first. Christopher Ryan just donated. Thank you very much, Christopher. I appreciate it. Still no word from YouTube about my monetization. It has now been since, February 4th? February 5th? March, April. Yeah, it's now April 13th. I petitioned for it. I said, hey, YouTube, can I get my monetization back? Can you let me know how I've been harmful? Ron DeSantis just had a video taken down from YouTube. They said it was harmful because there were doctors on there claiming things like kids don't need to wear masks and stuff like that. And the general medical consensus is, no, kids should still wear masks. They can spread it. On the one hand, you got the GOP saying, hey, kids shouldn't wear masks. They don't get COVID. We don't have to worry about it. Open up the schools. On the other hand, you have it saying, the children are coming across the border with COVID and they're killing everyone. I will check PayPal because Christopher Ryan sent me something on PayPal. Let me just confirm that. Just make sure there's something just came through. And Christopher Ryan, thank you very much. Congratulations. Christopher got his stimulus check, so he gave me a little bread out of that, and I appreciate that. That is awesome. Thank you, Christopher. It was February. February 4th or 5th that I got demonetized. It's been that long. Time it goes so quickly in the quarantines. I still haven't talked about anything in the news, and we're already 5 minutes in. This is how I do. I also do like 45-minute goodbyes. That's my specialty. So that's it. Good night, everybody. It wasn't 6 auditions, it was 7 auditions. So many auditions in one day, I lost track of it. And then today, nothing new. It poured yesterday. Ironically, raining today. Not for me, though. I want to put up a map. I couldn't find one, though. What I wanted to do was put up a map that showed the states in which it is legal in terms of marriage. And I know now the Supreme Court has said, like, 14th Amendment and all the states and all that sort of thing. It's, if one state passes it, all the other states. So in terms of marriage and whom you can marry, I wanted to show you guys the map. And really, I did it because I wanted to learn myself. I wanted to know in which states it is legal to marry peanut butter. Because I have fallen in love all over again. I told myself I wasn't going to do this. Sorry. I am deeply, deeply in love, friends. Can I show you? Can I show you? Look at this. Look at that. Can anyone identify what that is? Yes, it's peanut butter. Can someone tell me? Does anybody know what's underneath that peanut butter? In which I have fallen so much in love. Still haven't talked about anything in the news. You guys think about it. Yes, more peanut butter is correct, but there's more. So you get half points for that. Wow, not a big audience right now. Wow, take a couple of days off and everyone disappears. Well, fine. You broadcast after midnight Eastern time. And people are sleeping? No, not a rice cake, not an apple, although peanut butter and apple, super yum. No, this, I like me some peanut butter. Peanut butter and I are old friends. We are buddies, we are pals. And that's the way it is. A lot of people will eat like a spoonful of peanut butter for lunch, which I think is a wonderful idea. It's not enough for me. I didn't think that peanut butter was enough. But then recently, in the last, when was Easter? 2 Sundays ago? So since about 2 Sundays ago, since about Easter, and that's a hint. Hi, Dennis. Since about Easter, I have fallen in love with peanut butter anew. And that love has blossomed. And there's a reason that it's connected to Easter. No, it is not Jesus. But it is the most confusing piece of Jesus that is part of the canon of the Catholic Church. And now, by extension, and by the way, you think that Peeps, somebody block Jessica. Get Jessica out of Peeps. Do we have a moderator in there? Block Jessica immediately. Put her in a permanent timeout. Peeps, Jessica. I never. Judges confirmed. No one should ever. Not an unleavened bread. Boy, Lizzie, though, you're good with the guesses tonight. So one of the most confusing things about Easter is that a pickle peanut butter sandwich, I have done that. I have had peanut butter and pickles in an attempt to make dill better. It does not work. The dill still shines through. And I don't want that battle going on in my stomach. I want a party in my mouth. Not jelly beans, not Whoppers. Lizzie, you're on the right track, though. One of the most confusing things about Easter is that we celebrate the birth of Jesus, and a rabbit comes to the... And I get rabbits, or I guess rebirth. Rabbits make a lot of rabbits. There might be some sort of connection there. Maybe at some point there was rabbit stew. That was popular in olden days, still popular in many regions of the world. A rabbit was a staple in England. The rabbit brings us eggs. Rabbits don't lay eggs. And even as a 4 or 5-year-old, I remember back when I believed whatever I was told. And my family was very religious. My mother became a Lutheran minister eventually, an incredulous one at that, but still, it is eggs, but specifically, what kind of eggs is it? They're trying to guess what's under here. This is my peanut butter. What is under that peanut butter? That's whoever guesses that is correct and wins no prize whatsoever. Hard-boiled peanut butter eggs? No, you don't hard-boil them. It is what I'll give you a hint, guys, by telling you exactly what it is. It is a Reese's egg, but it's like a half of one. I don't know if they're any different, but they're individually wrapped. They're half of them, and they're half price after Easter, as are all good things. This is what it looks like from the other side. See? It's like this half Reese's egg, and I put on it peanut butter from Costco, and oh my God! And I'm going to get once more, like I'm going to get banned from YouTube for showing this, because this is, you're about to see a mouthgasm. And I'm just gonna let that melt in my mouth. You don't chew it. I'm sorry if you find this disgusting. But you know what? If I was watching you having sex, I might think it was disgusting. So I'm sucking off the peanut butter right now. When this becomes legal to marry peanut butter, I'm going to do it. Because peanut butter was my childhood love. And now I've rediscovered that love. It's like when two lovers meet up at their high school reunion, or they bump into it. This was my high school sweetheart. Oh, see, now the chocolate's starting to melt away, and all the sugar peanut butter is mixing in with the all-natural Costco peanut butter. Oh, my God. I do sound old with no teeth. I also do a whistle old guy, which I can't do right now, because if I did that, you know the gopher in Winnie the Pooh, how he whistles when he talks? If I did that right now, I can do that voice. If I did that right now, first, it would be annoying. Dennis knows what I'm talking about. Secondly, all of the peanut butter would come out, and I'm not going to waste peanut butter. Oh. Now, the reason that I bring all of this up, and it's not because I planned anything, but here is an interview from just about Easter with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Lick the plate. I'm going to do that off camera, because YouTube would ban me for sure for that. No, I'm just now to the point where the two peanut butters are mixing. Oh my God, this is tantric.
Georgia, welcome back to Newsmax. How you holding up? You're terrific. How are you? Good evening.
This interview is about Easter, so what you just witnessed is A-class first plus journalism.
I'm doing well, Greg. How are you doing?
I'm all right, but look, once again, Twitter is out to get you.
Oh.
You tweeted something very beautiful, I think, for Easter. Let's put it up on the screen.
Easter!
He is
See?
risen. He is risen. Christ has risen. You'll be surprised, maybe you won't be, but how little talk there was about Christ in public circles on Easter, more about jelly beans and that kind of junk. Did this tweet get you in trouble or not? Because I hear that, well, what happened after this?
So I tweeted that Easter message, he is risen, happy Easter. I also had retweeted a tweet about abortion. And then I got suspended for 12 hours on Twitter with no explanation, received the email, received the notification.
That's right, she did. It was probably the tweet about abortion, I'm guessing, or one of her other tweets. Probably not the tweet about Easter.
That I was suspended on Twitter, and then later in the day, Twitter admits that they made an error once again.
Oh,
so
okay.
I got suspended for 12 hours for the second time in a matter of weeks on this platform that has spent hundreds of millions of dollars on their platform, on their technology, but yet they somehow keep making little mistakes and suspending me.
Well, let's take a look at the statement.
Don't look at me. Look at her. Look at the interview.
Yeah, it seemed a coincidence? I don't think so, but let's take a look. Oh my gosh, lots of words there. Same statement on April 4th and on March 19th. A combination of technology, blah, 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 blah. This action has been reversed, and your account has been reinstated. What did you do on March 19th? What did you do? What did they say? What happened on March 19th?
That happened to be the same day that Democrat from California, Representative Gomez, introduced his resolution to expel me from Congress for doing absolutely nothing wrong. You see, these people can't even file an ethics complaint on me, but they are just so offended that I won't back down from stopping what they're trying to do. And I do it. I go on the floor. I call for roll call votes to put Congress on record for voting, and they just can't take it. They'd love to pass their bills through the dark of the night.
No, she keeps passing motions to dismiss for the day. That's what she does. When she gets up to talk, she just says, okay, I vote that we all go home. She has nothing to do. Her vote is irrelevant. She's not on any committees. There is zero reason for her to be in Washington. But she shows up and says, hey, I'd take a roll call. I would like to have a vote on whether or not we should even continue. And then they have the vote, and everybody has to show up or vote by proxy, and it just fucking wastes taxpayer time and money.
And they're very offended by that. They're just offended by my conservative values and my willingness to call them out and speak the truth. So Twitter apparently doesn't like it either, which I really could care less because, you know, I think once President Trump launches his social media platform, most people will be done with Twitter, and then it'll just be one big, I guess, leftist, woke, progressive chat room where they just all virtue signal to themselves about how voting is showing IDs is racist or something ridiculous.
That sounds amazing. Judges? Yes, everyone is looking forward to this. Is the best news all day.
Like that.
Well, you know what, though? I still think we got to fight in that forum. I've gone back and forth on this myself, and I think we've got to present our ideas even when the feedback is hostile. So think about that, please. But I will point out that Twitter is strangely tolerant of far left, horrible nonsense. Louis Farrakhan, let's go ahead and put this tweet up, shall we? Louis Farrakhan, thoroughly and completely unmasking the satanic, I can't even say this. This is totally anti-Semitic. So strange, but this gets liked on Twitter and retweeted, and no problem. Let's have a look.
That is absolutely terrible.
Look at another one. Let's see, who's this guy? One of the leaders, the leader in Iran.
It's Ayatollah Khomeini, but sure, who's this guy?
Iran, Holocaust is an event whose reality is
Who's this guy? He asks. For the leader of one of our three primary adversarial nations on the planet. Greg Kelly, he reports, which I thought would make him a reporter. Typically, when your show is called Reports, that's how you do. Who's this guy?
uncertain if it has.
This guy, is this Brown Santa? I believe I saw this gentleman working at my 7-Eleven. Who's this guy? Oh, he's some sort of leader, it says here in my notes.
It's happened. It's uncertain how it has happened. This is the kind of stuff that is tolerated on Twitter, but Happy Easter somehow lands you, Congresswoman, in Twitter jail. How strange is that? By the way, I'd love to get your take on the All-Star Game situation. You're from Georgia.
Yeah, everybody would love that. For the record, I am not saying that the Ayatollah Khomeini is Brown Santa. I am being Greg Kelly, who did not know who that was. Some sort of leader from...
Been designated. It will take place in Denver. Seems crazy. Seems unnecessary. Your thoughts over?
Everyone knows that Santa is white. Megyn Kelly told us that. Cannot be any other color. By the way, I am not saying that Santa can't be any other color. Megyn Kelly said that Santa cannot beat.
Overall.
My thoughts overall are
I'm never going to get my monetization back. This is the kind of thing that people will see. No one's watching tonight, though, except you wonderful people. We only have 35 people watching right now. That's fine. That's wonderful. Again, it's after midnight, and LP, you should be asleep. What do we got going on? Yeah, and Twitter. We're not even up on Twitter. What is happening with Twitter? Twitter's down, or at least the Periscope feed for Twitter. I have to check on that. So yeah, we're not on Twitter right now. That explains why we have light attendance in here, guys. Sorry, I don't control these things.
this. When Major League Baseball wants to stop requiring identification to pick up tickets at the will call window.
By the way, you do not need identification to go to a ball game. There are many other ways. Who goes to will call anymore? The only time you go to will call is if people leave tickets for you at will call, and they want to make sure that. So I don't think Major League Baseball requires people to show the ID. I think they're just trying to make sure that the person who left the tickets ends up giving it to the right people. I'm glad that they asked for ID there.
Then we can have a conversation about showing an ID to vote. When Delta wants to stop requiring people to show an ID to fly on their airline, then
Delta does not. The FAA demands it.
we can have a conversation about showing ID to vote. When Coca-Cola wants to change the laws in our country where people don't have to show ID to buy their alcoholic beverages, then we can have a conversation about showing ID to vote.
We do not have to show ID to buy alcohol because of Coca-Cola. They would far prefer to be able to sell to people without them showing their ID. They would make a huge bundle of money.
I have a strong opinion on this, and it is not.
I'm sure Coke owns some alcoholic brands, but yeah, they own Dasani and all the Fantas, and yeah. Let's find out really quickly here. I'll look it up for you guys. How about that? I will do that for you.
Racist to require people to have an ID to vote. It's very racist to assume that Black people are not intelligent enough to be able to get an ID to vote. So I think the Democrats are the ones that are definitely being the racist in this situation. They're looking down on Black voters, and so are these very rich CEOs of these very successful corporations.
By the way,
Coca-Cola is set to enter the U.S. alcoholic drinks market with Molson Coors tie-in. So Coors owns Molson. Molson used to be Canadian. They still have Molson Canadian beer. So apparently they're going to be doing some hard seltzer versions of Topo Chico. And those will roll out in the first half of 2021. So Coca-Cola is now officially involved in alcohol.
boycotting. Are you thinking about that? I personally have stopped drinking Coke. Personally, I'm not calling for a boycott. It's not good for you anyway. But I did remember what they did, their nasty little statement, and I said, you know what, I'm done with that. What do you think of boycotts? The president, President Trump, basically endorsed one the other day and said conservatives have to get their act together when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, and then has been seen twice in photos drinking Coca-Cola, specifically Diet Coke.
Well, I'm a big believer that you're in control of your money, and where you spend it is definitely your business. And if we want to, we should be doing everything we can to stop these corporations and what I call corporate communism. And that's exactly what it is. It's corporate communism. It's these
corporate communism would be just giving away the drinks to everybody because the drinks belong to everybody. She doesn't make any sense.
Corporations pushing their leftist ideology onto their employees and onto their customers, and that's just flat out wrong. And so,
in what way?
So yeah, I'm a believer, and if people don't like a company's policies, if you don't like the way you're being treated, then you can take your dollars elsewhere. So I support people in doing that. But I also think that business is important, and businesses should focus on one thing only, and that's their customers.
Yeah.
So screw corporate citizenship, says MTG.
Not virtue signaling and not all that other stuff. I think they're up to some sort of regulatory things, and they have an internet.
Oh, he's just hurting right now. Just look at that. He's got his eyes closed. He's not canceling other just regulations and all this other stuff. Oh, it just pains me. He is right now the opposite of my enjoyment of peanut butter. Hold on, let's watch him again here. Just watch. He's so distraught. He can't even think of the words. All he can say is stuff. And all their stuff and all their things. It just burns me up from the inside like Chanel number 5 on my mother's breast. She can't have whoring that night. What? Wow, I went to a dark place.
Not all that other stuff. I think they're up to some sort of regulatory things, and they have an international audience that they sometimes worry about.
Close those eyes and pray. Squint out, squint out. Take one look, one eye open. Close them up, close them up. Is she watching? Are the people watching?
As well as...
So, someone DM'd me the other time. They'd never sent a DM before. I won't tell you who it is. Someone nice, a well-meaning individual. Let's see here. A well-meaning individual. She wrote to me. She said, and this, nothing negative to say about this person. This is not a critique in any way, shape, or form. At Heavenly Father, that's me. I have never sent a DM. I am sure that you followed Greg Kelly by accident, as I have never read your tweets to be in any agreement with this severe racist. I wrote back and I said I often follow people with whom I disagree so that I'm able to see when they tweet something and then post an appropriate response and or fact. I guess I follow Greg Kelly. Honestly, I don't know. I'm sure he posted something insane at some point and I was like, oh, I got to follow this guy. But I felt honored that this young lady thought that she would send her first DM to me. And thank you very much. If that young lady is watching right now, I appreciate that. But yeah, I think it's important to keep your eyes and ears open and know what is going on. But she sent me her very first DM. Anyway, we're going on a date on Friday night. We're just going to hit a movie. Oh, hold on. Just getting breaking. They have closed all the movie theaters in California. So, did you guys hear about that? ArcLight closed. Done. What else? Another chain. Not AMC. Something else just closed. Like 100 movie theaters in California they're done. We made it to the end of COVID. Done. People are going to change their habits. I've said this before. This concerns me. This really concerns me, and I don't know if anyone else is paying attention to this. Corporate real estate. Now that many people have discovered I can work from home, and many businesses will figure out shortly, wait a minute, I don't have to pay to lease floors 7 through 9. I just need 1 through 7. There is going to be a lot of commercial real estate in this country that once those leases are done, are not going to get renewed. Now, we are supposed to go, according to Jay Powell, the chairman of the Fed, we are going to go through an economic boom that's happening right now, and things are churning up, and there's so many good economic signs. But the corporate real estate market is huge. That's a big chunk of the pie. And that changes fundamentally, especially when it comes to small businesses that need corporate space that have now discovered, I don't need to have that extra building. I just need the factory. All the accounting and the HR people and the 50 other people who work to support the 100 people in my factory, they don't need to be here. They can be at home, and I don't need to heat and AC and pay for their toilets, etc. We don't need the auxiliary building. We just need the factory. That's going to change things very drastically. I hope I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. One time I thought I was mistaken. At Random says, Amazon is going to be giving its employees only 90 days work from home per year, which wasn't a thing before COVID. Interesting.
American. So, hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're amazing. Thank you for coming back. Come back anytime.
Is that it?
Congresswoman from Georgia, Republican, to be continued, and thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, all the best.
Okay. Well, there you have it. So let's get on to other news. The vaccines. Johnson & Johnson on pause. So if you guys haven't heard about this, it's been in the news all day today. Apart from the riots and the shootings and the trial, I don't want to touch on any of that because it's all just terrible. All of it. I wish that we could just have a black and white situation. No pun intended, where, oh, the officer did this. Oh, that was really, really bad. The guy did nothing. The officer did this. There we go. Oh my God, that's terrible. Unfortunately, that's actually exactly what we have with George Floyd. Innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. There's no good ending there. Nobody is ever bringing George Floyd back. I'm done talking about that. Let's move on to vaccines. So the Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been put on pause by the FDA. And this is an absolutely very, very, very good thing for so many reasons. I know there's a lot of people saying, why put it on pause? For example, number one, the way that we know that it's a very, very good thing is because Trump put out a statement against it. So we know. Here's why. Because now everybody's talking about it. 6 cases of thrombosis of blood clots and a very, very rare blood clot condition. Typically, when you discover somebody has blood clots, you'll treat them with heparin or some other sort of blood thinner or whatever. And if you do that with this blood clot, this condition, it's counterproductive. It's a paradoxical reaction to it. What is it? There's a medical term for it that I'm forgetting. I've already used 2, so that's that. So you don't want to treat this with heparin or your standard treatments. It clues doctors in to look very carefully for this. We will probably see a lot more than 6 cases. It could double as people realize, oh, hey, I'm having pain, or I had pain, I should get checked out. Only women have reported having the blood clots so far. It could be happening in men. Women are much more likely to report symptoms. That's not a criticism of women. And again, these are just generalizations. Women are much, much better at letting people know what's going on with their health. Men are really stupid when it comes to that, and they won't go to the doctor and they won't tell people. Plus, 2 weeks after having a vaccine, if your leg hurts, you're not going to connect it to the vaccine. Contraindicated. Thank you, Nurse LP. So yeah, this is very good. Now there will be people coming out of the woodwork, hopefully still alive, saying, hey, yeah, I also have this headache or this leg pain or whatever the symptom might be, and get checked out. Now, that being said, apparently doctors are being flooded with calls because everybody is calling them saying, hey, I got the Johnson & Johnson 3 months ago, and now my nose is stuffy. Should I? But that's a good thing. Lives will be saved. So there's several good reasons for it. There is the thought that we should tell women stop getting the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. For now, women of childbearing years, there's some sort of weird reaction, but you have to take into account as well that men just don't tell you when they're having symptoms. I know I speak for myself when I say that. We're just like, we'll go later. I'll get my teeth cleaned next year. Oh, I have a dentist appointment on the, 2 days after. Yeah, my freedom day from the vaccines is the 17th. That's a Saturday. That Monday, I have a dentist cleaning my teeth. Oh, I cannot wait. I have never in my life looked forward to the dentist. That is the biggest difference between pre-COVID and now COVID. Is there anything in your life, guys, that you could not stand before COVID, and now, once you're all vaccinated, that you're looking forward to? Let me know. Let me know in the chat room. Oh, thank you very much. Jessica just sent me some money. I appreciate it. On the PayPal or the Venmo or something. Hey, if you'd like to contribute as well, Big news of the week for those of you who weren't in the Twitter chat. I did order my sharpener. The sharpener is going to be called Debbie because producer Debbie came through. Super producer Debbie came through with a large donation that's going to enable me to get the sharpener. And then Marcy gave me a ring. Specifically the rings that actually sharpen the skates as they go along. So that's big news. We're not really doing an official news night. We're also having a personal talk tonight. It's too late. It's Kevin Lee Father late night. You already saw me having sex with a peanut butter egg. So I think we've crossed that line altogether. At Random had a bone graft over your teeth? Executive producer Debbie. No, I think she's like super producer Debbie. Executive producer Joanna. By the way, has anybody seen executive producer Rich around lately? I haven't seen Rich Mack in quite a few days. He's so busy. At Random says LP different types of clots. Okay, you guys are having your own conversation. I don't get into womanly clots. And if somebody wants to use the name woman, I'm all out of words. I'm so lost without you. Let's do a little bit of Inhanity, see what's going on in that neck of the woods.
The crowd is estimated.
Yeah, where's the doctor? Where's Dr. Howard? Oh, she was suspended? Joanna G says, oh my God, we'll have to catch the replay of the peanut butter egg. No. Was in a room that has no Wi-Fi, so missed the start. Oh, don't cry. You didn't miss anything, trust me.
Tonight at 2,000, much larger than last night's. And coming up as the investigation unfolds, we'll bring you important context. We have new information.
By the way, I don't know if you guys can see this on the screen. The CNN reporter called this a blizzard. If I can see more than 3 people, it's not a blizzard.
We have footage. We have other critical information that you probably won't see on other fake news networks. Also later tonight.
Only on this fake news network.
An explosive new undercover video we will unveil right here from Project Veritas, featuring a CNN employee bragging that network, that they worked overtime to beat Donald Trump in the 2020 election. As always, we'll report. You'll decide. Here's a preview.
Oh, absolutely. They were absolutely crucial in getting rid of Trump. So congratulations, CNN.
Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right?
Yeah.
That's only the tip of the iceberg. So will any of the Hannity, Fox News, psycho stalk.
And your focus was to keep Trump in office. That's how this works.
At fake news CNN ever have the courage to hold their own network accountable? Now, we did tweet out to Humpty Dumpty, our good friend, Jeff Zucker's stenographer, and James O'Keefe. By the way, he went after, well, his friend, Oliver somebody. Anyway, James O'Keefe joins us straight ahead. We have exclusive new footage from this bombshell investigation.
I wanted to hear footage.
But first, we turn our attention.
Isn't that Harry Potter's game? Footage?
Back to what is a very, very tense situation on the ground tonight in Minnesota.
All right, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. Get past all that. Let's move on. God, I hope there's no riots again tonight. No looting. Please don't loot. Like they're sitting at home watching me.
Again.
We don't want to. This is terrible footage. It's just all of it. And now they're showing a picture of Rashida Tlaib saying no more policing. Let's go by all of this.
Situations that don't necessarily call.
Okay, let's see what else is going on. Policing in America. See, the news sucks. The news sucks right now. Okay. This is, okay, taser. Okay, so we're showing you what a taser looks like. This is actually interesting because some of you will have questions about this. Here we go.
The accuracy is not great.
How do you mistake your taser for your handgun? This is what a lot of people are asking.
At best, you get.
How do you scream taser, taser, taser while you're holding a black weapon in your hand? Hold on. Somebody said something significant in the chat room here. Let me read up on it here. Jennifer says, my sister has at least one in her brain, a blood clot. And my son had an intracranial bleed at birth, so he won't get vaccinated until I know more. Smart, Jennifer. Keep talking to your doctor about that. How old is your son, Jennifer?
Get 2 shots and only 2 shots. Recently, another non-lethal weapon caught my attention. I bought this weapon. It's from a company called Burner Technologies. I'm just a customer. I own several of their non-lethal weapons that are legal because I have the license in New York just for.
So that's some sort of pellet CO2 cartridge.
For full disclosure there too. But I've become a fan of this technology as an option for both homeowners and police officers. They would have another
So I don't know if it shoots pepper balls or what. I don't know if you're going to tell us, but that's not a taser.
option short of the lethal option of a gun and the training to shoot
22,
upper
wow.
body mass.
Any long-term effects from the hole in the center of his brain? It's amazing the way the brain will adjust, and I hope this is the case in your son's specific situation. The brain will, if you take out the hypothalamus and you suddenly can't feel pleasure, often the brain will shift over dopamine and start creating it somewhere else in the brain. So he's okay. That's awesome, Jennifer. It's amazing. You lose your speech center and suddenly the brain starts using other parts of the brain for the speech center. By the way, that whole you only use 10% of your brain, complete nonsense.
Yes.
I believe we only use 10% of our heart. It's a line from Wedding Crashers, by the way. It's not mine.
Look at your screen. You see the Burner
But it's a good line.
HD. It shoots .68 caliber projectiles. It's filled with 2 different pepper sprays, tear gas powder. It dispenses upon impact, rendering the target incapacitated. And for more detail, well, they put out.
Okay, so I don't know why he's showing us this. Is he saying cops should be using pepper guns instead? They will not work on a lot of individuals. Otherwise, they would all have them. So yeah, this is an ad for a pepper gun. So those sales will skyrocket. I'm sure somebody bought some stock. Hearing about this, Don Bongino, something else, that guy. So that whole thing was about riots. Let's go to something else. Is this all? Oh, here's Lindsay right here. Let's hear what Lindsay has to say.
He thinks he was on my.
Jennifer says they thought her son would be in a wheelchair for his entire life, completely dependent. He ranges from 4-gauge appropriate depending on what you're talking about. I'm not sure what that means, Jennifer, but if you elucidate on that, I'll try and understand.
Radio show. He said, so you see trillions and trillions in reckless spending. It's not for infrastructure and it's not for emergency relief. You see amnesty, open borders, and abusive cages Biden is building. Then you see appeasement. You see aggression now by China.
By the way, there's no more cages. They're not building cages. They're building what the Fox hosts in the morning like to call Biden bubbles, but they're not actual cages.
And Russia, and appeasement towards the Iranian mullahs, and now pulling out of.
That's what's going on. So Russia is amassing troops on the Ukrainian border, saying that the U.S. has threatened to put ships into the Black Sea. That's not happening. But they now have more troops than in ever along the Ukrainian border. Putin is threatening to invade Ukraine and just take over Ukraine altogether. I don't know how to solve that. Here's the problem. Ukraine is still not a full NATO member. They're like NATO buddies, but they're not actual NATO members. And that's been going on for years. Like back in 2009, was it? They were going to be NATO members, and then the dictator came in. Yanukovych? Viktor Yanukovych? What was his name? Again, guys, I'm terrible with names. I'm sorry. But basically, from 2010, 2012, they're like, we don't want it. Now they're back in it. 2019 again, right before the pandemic, they were like, yeah, we want to be part of it. Zelensky won. And then Trump was like, hey, can you investigate Biden? He's like, I don't want any part of it. So NATO is having an emergency meeting right now, trying to figure out what to do with the Russians at the Ukraine. That could become a very, very big story. But we're just hearing about riots and Lindsey Graham and the border and stuff that's just been happening anyway. But that could be world changing. We'll see what happens.
Afghanistan. What's your over?
Jennifer says he's able to walk, talk, and is fairly self-sufficient. He gets embarrassed around girls, but loves Mickey Mouse. He has a seizure disorder, is OCD and ADHD, so some issues. Well, good for him, though. That's fantastic. That he isn't wheelchair bound and is able to function independently. That's good news.
Overall feeling about where we're headed?
Joe Biden's become an incredibly destabilizing American president. He took a border that was pretty calm and turned it into chaos. The Mideast had been transformed on Trump's watch, where the Arabs were working with the Israelis and had Iran in a box. He's taken Iran and let them out of the box. They're talking about enriching uranium at 60% now, which is a direct threat to the existence of the state of Israel.
Well, yeah, we had an agreement with them not to do that, and Trump tore it up, Lindsey. It's not Biden.
The Russians are challenging him in the Ukraine, and now he is withdrawing forces in Afghanistan against sound military advice.
Trump tried to withdraw all the forces from Afghanistan. He promised it. All the presidents, George Bush said he was going to withdraw all the presidents. Joe Biden and Barack Obama said they were going to withdraw all the soldiers. Joe Biden promised to do it in 2014 when they were running in 2012. Trump said he was going to withdraw everybody from Afghanistan. And he said later that his gut told him to do it. And that's how he makes decisions. He admitted that he makes gut decisions. But that the military has suggested that he not do that. Now Biden has said, yeah, let's try and get everybody out of Afghanistan. So it was May under Trump's plan. It's now going to be September 11th being the significant date, 20 years since 9/11. There's no win there. There just isn't. There never has been. The operation should have always been go in, get bin Laden, harm the Taliban as much as you can, do some YouTube videos about them maybe, because that's harmful, and get out. Is it our job to be a peacekeeping force? Honestly? Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. I'm not in charge, and that's why.
To all of you who are listening,
Stephanie.
you remember where you're at on September 11th, 2001.
Yeah.
Our military told President Biden that if you withdraw all of our forces, Al-Qaeda and ISIS will come roaring back. Afghanistan would disintegrate into civil war.
Yeah.
And we can avoid all of that by having 3,000 to 5,000 American forces, making sure that ISIS and Al-Qaeda never come back to hurt us. He rejected
That they're already back and they're already hurting us. So it's the Taliban. Okay? Taliban.
it.
Trump was having meetings, wanted to have meetings at Camp David with the Taliban. He was negotiating a surrender with the Taliban.
Afghanistan is going to deteriorate pretty rapidly. Al-Qaeda and ISIS are going to come back. He's paving the way for another 9/11. I think Joe Biden on foreign policy has been completely...
So how long do we stay in? It's been 20 years. This is the longest war the United States has ever fought. How long? How long? Let us know, Lindsey. Just forever? We're just forever going to be a military peacekeeping force there and having our soldiers die. That's what we do. Okay, that's his choice.
incompetent and destabilizing. What he's done with the Iranians is a threat to everything we've accomplished in the Mideast. I just hope and pray that I'm wrong, but I know what was going.
I don't have to hope and pray.
I knew what was going to happen in Iraq. Afghanistan is going to be worse.
Let me ask you this.
Lindsey's a warmonger? Not our Lindsey. Our Lindsey loves peace and dogs.
There's never been a major political party that has turned this radical. New Green Deal, reckless spending, all the things that we talk about.
Wait, did he get that wrong? Seriously? It's the Green New Deal. Did he? I think he got it wrong.
Wrong, but I...
You know, the New Deal. The New Deal, the FDR New Deal to save the economy. to promote infrastructure.
No.
But this is the Green New Deal. It's the New Deal. That was like 3 weeks of U.S. history when you were in grade 11 or 11th grade because you're in the States.
I knew what was going to happen in
Green New
Iraq.
Deal.
Afghanistan is going to be worse.
Let me
Green
ask you
New
this.
Deal. Yeah.
There's never been a major political party that has turned this radical.
Yeah.
New Green Deal, reckless spending, all
Green New Deal.
the things that we talk about.
Yeah.
Now, if my
No one talks about the New Green. I can't even say it. I can't even say it his way. My brain said, say New Green Deal. But when it came out, it just came out Green New Deal.
political instincts, if I've learned anything in 30
Well, it's not like he does this for a living. It's not like he has a 3-hour radio show and an hour TV show every day.
33 years of doing this, I would tell you that there's going to be a major backlash. And the big first test, whether or not I'm right, will be in 2022. You couldn't pick a more perfect bellwether map for the U.S. Senate. I think the Republicans have a good chance of taking control of the House. That would be good. But in the Senate, you got Florida, you got Georgia, you got North Carolina, you got New Hampshire. You've got Ohio, you've got Arizona, you've got Wisconsin. Those are all the states that matter for 2024.
Yeah, guys, thank you, Stephanie, for reminding me. Be sure to like this live stream if you're watching on the YouTube. Hit that thumbs up because maybe that'll help me get remonetized. I don't know. If you want to help me monetize, you can do so yourself. Just go to Patreon, kevinleefather.com, become a patron. Send me money in the Cash App. Hold on that. If you don't know what the Cash App is and you live in the United States, I'll explain it. PayPal, Venmo, like our friends, who did that? Christopher and who else? Why doesn't it tell me? This is supposed to give me a list. Oh, Jessica, yeah. Both contributed today over Venmo or PayPal, however they test it. And then if you don't have the Cash App and you live in the United States, use that code up in the corner, that big long code. This is what it's for, cash.app/app, blah, 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 blah. Use that code, and then the first time you spend $5, the Cash App gives you $5 back. And when you do that, I get $15 for referring you. So spend that money, and I'll get $15. If you give it to me, if you give me $5, you get the $5 back. I get that $5 plus the $15 referral. You've just given me $20. And I can keep doing stuff like this because YouTube doesn't let me have any money. So if you're not already a member, or if you've got a friend, if that's your homework, find a friend who doesn't have the Cash App, tell them to use that code, and I will get $20. And they'll get a really cool card. You can design your own card. I should tell you guys this story. I'm so tired of Lindsay already. Let's see if I can tell you the story. Do I have the other card? Shuffle, 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 shuffle. This is so professional. This is what I have, by the way. I have my slippers on the table. I have a hairbrush on the table. This is what happens when I'm shooting 7 auditions in a day. I have some headlights. Does anybody need H11 headlights? The contest is, do you need H11 headlights? I will send you H11 headlights. Do you have a Prius circa 2010, 2016? I'll send you these H11s. I have a dish. I have a dish for peanut butter. I have a Kleenex box, but that's always here. I have sport under wrap. I have more sport under wrap. I have sport over wrap. I have another slipper. I have a battery charger that may or may not work. I have rolls of stamps. I have a baseball. I have the thing I wanted to show you guys. So, here we go. Do you guys want to hear the story about the magical Cash App card that you can design yourself? Or do you guys want to do more Lindsay? Let me know. If there's a producer in the room, let me know what you want to do. I'll tell the story or we'll watch more Lindsey Graham. Actually, even if you're not a producer, just go ahead and tell me here. What's in Kevin Lee Father's pants? Hold on. I don't know if I have anything in my pants. No, I have nothing in my pants today. Story. Okay, Janice wants to hear a story. We will tell a story. So, Discover Card They advertise they are the official card of the NHL, right? And you know, as you guys know, I like the hockey. Okay, so what they do in their ads, I might even be able to find this. Here, we're gonna watch this. I'm gonna see if I can find it because I want to set this up properly.
But you got Senate races in 2022. Your thoughts on what the agenda should be moving forward and who should lead it?
Well, I think President Trump is the leader of the party, and I'm hoping he will come out fairly soon with an American first agenda that includes simple things like finish the wall and make sure that we're safe when it comes to foreign policy. Keep the pressure on Iran, don't take it off. So I hope we can come out with an agenda led by President Trump that will unite the Republican Party. But this idea of court packing destabilizes the court. They're talking about expanding the number of Supreme Court justices. Justice Breyer, a Democratic appointee, and Justice Ginsburg said it'd be a bad idea. Just imagine every time you change power in Washington, you change the number of justices on the court. It becomes a political football. He's let the Iranians run wild. He's given them, you know, a second lease on life. He's withdrawing our forces in Afghanistan that would pave the way for another 9/11. He's taken a border that was pretty damn secure and created chaos. I think all this is going to be on the ballot in 2022. If we can get our act together as Republicans, we're going to come roaring back.
All right, Senator Lindsey Graham, thank you. Later on, Senator Ted Cruz joins us when we come.
Okay, so I found it. So Discover Car, I didn't find one of the commercials. I found somebody did, I don't know, what, some kind of tribute to it or something like that. This is what Discover wants you to do. And I don't know if this is official or whatever, but they show you all these credit cards like across the screen in their commercials, and they have their NHL logos. And I was like, cool, I want, because I've been a Discover card holder for years and years. They give you pretty good rates, and it just, anyway. No, I'm telling you the story. I wanted to show you what the story, and in their ads, they have all these like cool cards, like this is the Dallas Stars. That's right there. That was it. These are the LA Kings. This one, we're going to go back. Let's find it so I can pause on it. Okay, Dallas, and boom. Edmonton Oilers, right? Cool. So, I order and hey, can I get an NHL card? I want to get the Edmonton Oilers. And they're, okay, sir, we'll send it out. So they sent me a card, and all it has on it is the NHL logo. It's gray, and it has the NHL logo. This is the logo down the bottom. That's it. That's the card. So I call them back, and I say, hey, yeah, can I get the one with the Oilers logo? We don't have that. But it's in your commercials. No, we don't have that. They don't, by the way, every time I call Discover and I ask about the NHL card, they're like, yeah, no, like the Seahawks or the Rams? No. NHL, they have no idea. Whoever their call center is, you know, they're always calling the Discovery commercials and it's you answering the phone. Yeah, do you guys protect me from credit card fraud? From a frog? No, credit card frog. Is there a frog attacking you, sir? No. It's not like that. There's someone on the other end who doesn't have any idea what you're talking about in terms of hockey. So they sent me this card that was just an NHL logo on gray, like really bland. Not that it matters, right? Like what? Here's me flashing my card to be able, hi, yes, I have the NHL card. So 2 years or whatever, 4 years, my card's expiring. I call them up again. I say, hey, I would very much like to have the card that is in the commercials. It says Oilers on it. It's got the logo. The background is a silver logo. See, you got the Oilers. And watch this. This is what I like about this. There's an oil drop in there. It's the Oilers, people who oil. Because Alberta, that's just the name. I'm not endorsing oil as a product. But if you look, like the O kind of goes to the circle, but like the S is farther on the outside than the bottom of the S. And then you realize, oh, look at this. The whole name is actually within a drop that you only see if you're looking for it. And I love logos like that. Like whoever, because if I designed this logo, I just would have put like the oil, the O all the way to the side, and the S all the way to the... Am I making any sense? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like graphically, I'm not a graphic artist. So I call them up and I say, hey, my card's expiring. Can I please have but you guys see it, right? You guys can see. I'll zoom in on it so you guys can really see. Okay, hold on. Watch. See, if you look at it, this is almost too big. Here we go. If you look at it, the Oilers is not written so it aligns with the circle, with the sphere. Not the sphere. This is a concentric circle, okay? So it's not written to align with that. Here, there. Wrong mouse. Okay. So it's not all the way to the sides of the circle. It's written so that it aligns with a bigger oil drop. See the shape of the drop? The oil is written within the drop, not the outside circle. And I just like that. I appreciate that. Because it's one of those things where you don't notice it. It's like those logos that you... Hold on. I'll see if I can find one really quickly. Where it makes you see letters and things that aren't there. Boom. Okay, yeah, here. This is perfect. All right, so I'll pull this one up. And perfect. Okay, so, nope, that's not perfect. Not exactly what I wasn't talking about. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about right here. Let me pull this, see if it gets bigger. Okay, this is the Cenex logo. Let me zoom in on it here. This is really vital news stuff, guys. So I'm glad you're paying attention here. See, this is the logo for Cenex, but the N isn't there. The N is only created because the red stops and you can see the N. Here's a fun one. This is something that you probably didn't notice before. Look at the FedEx logo. Right here, the FedEx logo, there's an arrow created by the E and the X. There's an arrow right in there because FedEx is a company that gets things going. Negative space, thank you. I don't know. Watch this. I want to show this to you guys as well because this is something that a lot of people might not realize. Here's your Amazon logo, okay? Hold on, I'm going to show it to you. Watch the Amazon logo. There's an arrow on the Amazon logo, right? It's a smile. Oh, but there's more. It's a smile that goes from A to Z. That's the Amazon logo. Baskin Robbins. Baskin Robbins. Hold on. Robbins logo. Okay. Probably something in there too. Oh, is there something here I'm not seeing? It's got a 31 right in there. I never noticed that, but that's a written 31, but I like that. It's also phallic. I'm not seeing that. But Lindsay sees phallic in all logos. Look up McDonald's. It's phallic. That's Lizzie's voice in my head. I am not seeing a phallus in here. I think you're just making this up. Quite frankly, I think it's a fallacy. It's just a fallacy. Who was it that said phallus? Who was it who was promoting a fallacy? Plagued by society. Oh, that makes perfect sense. I am sorry. I'm sorry that I associated phyllisness with you, Lizzie. It was, in fact, Plagued who was bringing that dirt up in this playground. So anyway, getting back to the story. So I really like the, now it's gone. This is a really productive broadcast. I don't know why you people want me to broadcast, because this is what we end up talking about anyway. I know who you are, Bridget. Everybody knows who you are. I didn't want to mention your name in case the FBI was watching and or the YouTube police. So, I called them up and I said, hey, can I please get the card with the Oilers logo? You guys have been showing it to me for 4 or 5 years. I'm pretty sure it exists. No, we don't have a. Can I speak to a manager? I get a manager. I'm being a total Karen about this. Because the weird thing is, I'm Karen, but I'm caring. Because you keep showing it to me. Why can't I have it? It's my precious. So I call him up, and I talk to the manager, and I say, hey, can I please get the Oilers card? Because I'm on your website now, and there's an Oilers card on your website. I would like that, please. The manager explains to me, he says, oh, yes, but you have to change the kind of account you have. You've been a member for so long that you're getting this super low interest rate, and you get like 4% back on restaurants or gas or whatever it was I was buying at the time, back when I bought gasoline, like you simpletons. No offense. What's it gonna go? Well, just looking at it, sir, that would last year that would have cost you an additional like $38 or something. I said, no, I'm not paying $38 just to have an Oilers logo. He says, but the good news is the newer card has a Stanley Cup on it. I was like, well, I support the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup actually doesn't belong to the NHL. It was given to the hockey community by Lord Stanley, the governor at the time, to the people of Canada and to others in order to create a challenge cup. And at the beginning, it was just that bowl up at the top, like Trump's Bowl of Freedom that he was awarded by Rick Scott the other day. They just made up an award. Did you see that picture of Trump holding that little bowl? That's what the Stanley Cup was originally, right there. And that's why it's called Lord Stanley's Cup, because Lord Stanley was the Governor General of Canada at the time, the Queen's representative in Canada, and gave the people, the hockey people of Canada, a challenge cup. And so you would have a team, and somebody from like Montreal, the Maroons, might have the Stanley Cup, and then a team from Thistle, Ontario would challenge Montreal for the Stanley Cup that year, and they would have a Stanley Cup playoff. Hockey used to be very, very different. So this all comes back to the Cash App. Hold on. They sent me this. This is kind of a cool card. You know what's going on too? Right now it's reflecting the screen because it's silver. Look at that. There's an Oilers logo right in the Stanley Cup. There's your card, people. Come on, Discover. Get on this. Can I do it again? Get on it. Where is it? Right there. That is the greatest credit card in the history of the world, people. Not an Oilers fan? Maybe you're a Kings fan. Look at this. You want a Stanley Cup on your card? You can get that guy's face on it. There's your Kings logo right there. Lizzie wants me to... Okay, we're going to interrupt this story. We're just going to stop the story dead in its track. It's already been going for an hour and a half, but we're going to stop because Lizzie wants me to look up the Hershey's logo. Hershey's Kiss? Okay, hold on. Is there a Hershey's Kiss in it? Is that what the point of this is, Lizzie? Okay, everyone, just hold on. This better not be like a little tiny poop or something. Hershey's Kiss logo. Hold on. Here's is this the logo that we're talking about? Hershey's Kiss is this? Okay. Hold on. There's a close-up of the Hershey's Kisses logo. Does it create... okay, so it's a clever logo with a hidden message. All right, hold on. Let's find out what the hidden message is. I don't know if Lizzie's even going to tell us. It's so fun. Do you want to give me a kiss? Turn the logo on its side, and you just might spot a Hershey's Kiss between the K and the I. Oh, right here. Okay. Hold on. You guys can't see that. Okay, so on its side, there's a little kiss. See? That's like way too flat. Is that what you were talking about? Is that why we interrupted the story? Lizzie? Space between the K and an I is a kiss. Is it though? So here's something you can do. Veer off on a tangent. If you're having like a birthday party for your kid or some like a graduation celebration, the cheapest ass thing you can do to have like a Let's say it's a kid who wants a dinosaur party, right? They sell stickers for everything. Or you can print your own stickers. Get even cheaper. You go to Office Depot, you get, or you just order on Amazon or whatever, you just get circular stickers, right? They actually sell ones that stick on the bottom of Hershey's Kisses. So you do that. You go get yourself some of those stickers, and then you stick it on Hershey's, because Hershey's Kisses, I mean, they're tiny, and then you give like 4 or 5 to each kid, and they've got the little dinosaur on the bottom. Oh my God, they're thrilled. Costs you practically nothing. Thank you for sharing that, Lizzie. We all appreciate you interrupting the story. Where were we? You know what? I'm just going to start from the beginning. So, in about 2004, I became a Discover Card member. One of the reasons... So anyway, we're doing the Discover Card, and you got your logos for the Discover Card. Go ahead, Discover Card. Here we go. Calgary. Why even bother? Oh, I stopped it right at the right place. So I said, hey, I want the Oilers logo one. They said you can't. You got to switch this way. So flash forward to today when I get the Cash App. Because Kevin Lee Daughter said you got to get the Cash App, and then people can give you money through the Cash App. And you people have been amazing, by the way. You people with the referrals and everything, you've been great sending me money through the Cash App. You get the money back. And then I tell you, hey kids, get yourself a debit card through the Cash App, because when you use that debit card, you get $1 back when you buy coffee. And you get 10% back at Burger King and Taco Bell and Whole Foods, and that, like, you can buy Bitcoin with the app. Like, there's all kinds of things you do. But get yourself that debit card. One of the cool things is that you can design your own debit card. Right there on the app. They let you design it. I don't want to violate any copyrights. And I told you earlier that I am not a graphic designer. Or am I? I will let you be the judge. Do you see the way that the O is in the shape of an imaginary drop, oil drop? The S is not so good. That's more of a 5, really. Boom! Take that, Discover, bitches. Discover this. Yes, I am one of the dumbest individuals on the planet. It's true. I should be running for a Republican office. That's my story. That's the whole story right there. So what I'm saying is, it even has my Cash App thing at the top there. Cash, Kevin Lee Father. So if you're calling from the Oilers, if you're watching with the Oilers organization tonight, if I violated your copyright, I'm sorry. Oh well. Abhorrent? Lizzie says, I went to school for graphic design. That is abhorrent. If I knew what abhorrent meant, I might be upset. Not as upset as getting an NHL card with just a logo on the door. But check out this artwork. I don't go out in the real world much, but I cannot wait to visit Edmonton and just flash this card everywhere I go. Probably doesn't even work in Canada. It's a Visa. It's a Visa, and it's a tap card, right? But I'm not going to tap it anyway. I'm just going to be like, oh, your tap doesn't seem to be working. Would you mind running that for me, please? Be so proud. What else we got going on? Guys? What's going on in your lives? So we talked about Russia. We talked about the vaccines. Did anything else happen today? Like, there's so little going on. You got Matt Gaetz thing. There was the CNN expose by Veritas or whatever. Yeah, the technical, one of the technical directors for CNN is caught on tape saying, like, yeah, we promote things that are good for democracy. We didn't like Trump. We feel kind of responsible for helping Trump get out of office. And I hate to tell him, like, actually, it's more MSNBC. But anyway, really, Trump did not need CNN's help at all. In terms of the population that votes, the percentage that watch cable news, very low. If you guys are paying attention to all that, you guys are the wonks. Maddow, what was Maddow talking about today? What was she talking about? We'll flash in on Maddow just to see what the top story was. I haven't watched Maddow yet today, but we'll just kind of gleam it. And, well, she's not trending. I'll tell you that right now. Let's go to home, because that should be one of my choices on home. Let's see.
Administration of one of the 3 vaccines.
Okay, so Johnson & Johnson
on the ground, because again, they hope
Afghanistan.
But they're there. Administration.
And
because of.
Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to watch a little bit of Fauci. I know he was on in a couple of, but he was on MSNBC. I can't watch MSNBC with you guys, so watch MSNBC. I wonder, I don't even know how I can find him on CNN. Give me a second here. Let's see if one day ago. Oh, this is I didn't even want to get into that. I don't care. I've already been broadcasting for an hour and a half. I told my Discover card story. I can probably watch them on CNN. I might not get a copyright strike on CNN. So sorry for the phone buzzing here. It's supposed to be on Do Not Disturb, but I didn't put it on Do Not Disturb, so that's really the phone's fault. Is Biden going to Minnesota tomorrow? I don't know. I don't think it makes a difference. Don Jr.'s girlfriend got credit for helping during medical emergency. She moved some chairs. I didn't even hear about that. Kimberly, whatever her name is, right? I don't care. I'm so bored with the Republicans. Let's just watch. Let's see. See, it's all riots and stuff, so I don't want to watch it. The news with Shepard Smith, by the way. That's what you guys should be watching on CNBC. He's on at 4 p.m., 3 p.m. Pacific, something like that. Anyway, Shep Smith is back on the air. He's one of my favorite news broadcasters, so check him out if you have the time. Let's just go to Fox and Friends from this morning and see. They're going to be complaining about the border. Let's see if they had anything else they were outraged by. See if they had any good interviews throughout the morning. So they're complaining about Biden. Fauci, here we go. I saw Fauci in there. Here we go. Okay.
All right.
Let's listen to what they have to say about Fauci and see how they misinterpret it. Hi, Andy. Good. We were hoping to stay up. Everyone was like, no, don't go, Kevin. Stay broadcasting because Andy's going to be getting up. Andy's in Germany, friends. So, and by the way, Germany is like being locked down again, all over again. So I'm sorry, Andy. Andy technically is not allowed to go within 3 feet of any of his walls right now. Exterior walls only. He can wander around the house, but he cannot be within 3 feet. Is it 3? It's a meter. That's a little bit longer than 3 feet. I don't want to get technical about things. But Andy cannot be within a meter of any of his exterior doors or windows.
Carly, thanks. Meanwhile, let's talk about the pandemic. It never goes away, according to Dr. Anthony Fauci, and nothing ever gets better. He's still cautioning vaccinated Americans against indoor dining.
Eating and drinking indoors in restaurants and bars, is that okay now?
No, it's still not okay for the simple reason that the level of infection, the dynamics of infection in the community are still really disturbingly high. And if you are vaccinated, please remember.
Okay, they cut it.
that you still have to be careful and not get involved in crowded situations, particularly indoors where people are not wearing masks.
It's exasperating. How will the mixed message...
Oh, okay, but that makes perfect sense, what Fauci said. By the way, they cut out the part where he says every individual has to assess their own risk. So if you want to go eat indoors, go ahead and eat indoors with other people. Here's the problem. With people that aren't vaccinated, they can spread it. Even if you're vaccinated, I'm vaccinated. I'm almost done. That'll be Saturday. So what? I'm like at 87.5% right now, whatever it is. So looking forward to Saturday. It is liberating, and it's also disarming. So you have to remember to be careful, because I will be theoretically at 90% immunity. It's not immunity, but just bear with me. That still leaves me 10% vulnerable to getting the virus, and theoretically, although it hasn't been proven yet, spreading it to another human being, or worse, allowing it to replicate in my nasal passages and creating a super variant. And doesn't it sound like the kind of thing that I would do, create a super variant, like the way I create a super credit card? That would be so Kevinly, classic Kevinly, to create a super virus and kill everyone. So, is it a good idea to dine indoors? No. Have a nice meal outside. I had a nice meal outside the other day with Lindsay and producer Joanna, brother and sister, and we dined outdoors and we kept our social distance. Even though we've all had both vaccines, we're almost done. Her brother is a couple of days behind us, but we played tennis together. We kept our distance. We went to eat, and we're all in like the 85th or above percentile. But why not? It wasn't the hardest thing to do. Stephanie, no, there was no Twitter notification. I don't know why Twitter is not showing this. It might have to do with Periscope changing or something. I'll have to look into that, but thank you for reminding me on that, Stephanie. Stephanie says, I thought it was something that the CDC said that we can't transmit it once we're vaccinated. It was just recent. That is correct. They don't say, they haven't said that we can't vaccinate it, just that there hasn't been a case of it. So it's highly unlikely. Okay. That being said, it's really hard to contract trace when you've got like 60,000 new cases a day. But they haven't been able to find an exact case of this person was vaccinated, this person was vaccinated, this person goes outside the household, this person stays home. Somehow this person got it. The only way this person could have gotten it, for this person to contract it, give it to this person. That would be the only way to prove that. But having that situation would be exceedingly rare. So we think that if you're vaccinated and you're with other vaccinated people, you're fine. The trouble is, if you're going out to eat, you're going to be in there with other vaccinated people. If you're indoors, we know from South Korea for a fact that all it takes is 5 minutes and 20 feet. We know that the virus can spread indoors, in a restaurant, eating without masks, which is how you have to eat, 5 minutes, 20 feet. That's how a student got it from a business traveler in South Korea, and that was the closest contact they had. And it wasn't 50 minutes in enclosed space, 6 feet. All of that is just arbitrary nonsense. Anyway, eat outside if you have to eat with somebody. And if you're in an area where you can't eat outside, don't eat indoors. Again, you have to weigh your risk, and Fox is editing that highly. But Fauci didn't say don't do it. Fauci said it's a bad idea. You have to weigh your own personal risks.
Impact business.
Plague says, I feel bad for people who lost family members, but for me, it was no big deal. Okay, well, I think we've had this conversation before, Plague. I think you've told us this. I saw a news story about people moving to Texas from California, and the lady said she hated how California was still closed up. Then she says, I did get COVID when I moved here, but it was nothing. Janice didn't have side effects from Pfizer. That's awesome. I had a couple of great naps. Is this on? Are you telling me this is on Fox and Friends? Is that there's a lady who moved to California from Texas? Is that happening here? I love it when they go to the diners.
This is just trying to recover. Is that a responsible statement? Let's bring in Fox News contributor Dr. Marty Makary.
Responsible? Yeah, he's a doctor.
Dr. Makary, we were told last week by the CDC if you're vaccinated, you can't transfer the virus. We were told you can't transfer the virus from objects, inanimate objects. So we wipe it down our groceries for no reason. We should not even have to wear masks, let alone telling us not to go indoors. Was that totally irresponsible?
Well, good morning, Brian. You're hearing a lot of mixed messaging, and as a result, a lot of the medical officials are losing credibility, and we're seeing the infection right now spread in 5 states among young people, and I think that's because a lot of the guidance has lost credibility. Look, the Israeli study is in now. Our own NIH, Dr. Fauci's NIH, did not fund these studies looking at transmission, but now we don't have to guess. The data is in, and the risk of transmission from that Israeli study is negligible. And I can tell you, Brian,
okay. But if everyone's vaccinated, it's a different story. You know what we need? And I'm glad Fox has come up with this. We just need to have vaccine passports so you can go to restaurants. Problem solved. If everybody's vaccinated, yes, go ahead. Go inside. That's what the Israeli study says. By the way, the same Israeli study also says that if you got the Pfizer vaccine, like myself, the South African variant does a decent job at sneaking through. Doesn't say that you're going to get infected with it, but if you're going to get the virus, odds are pretty good it's going to be the South African virus or the South African variant if you're in an area where that's prevalent. That's what the Israeli study showed. But I cannot believe this guy is a doctor and isn't thinking about things in terms of there are other people in the restaurant who aren't vaccinated and may be carrying the virus.
You got to give people something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
If you just tell them they can't do
How about a time when we all don't have to worry about COVID? I look forward to that day. How do we get there? Let's all get vaccinated.
stuff, it's not right. You got to tell them how to do things safely and be in step with what they're going to do.
Dr. Makari.
Right. He just told everyone how to be safe. Hey, don't go to restaurants right now. Give it a break. Sit outside.
When you have a medical doctor on, you should have a psychologist on too. Because also, look at a behavior, anyone studying behavior. If I'm going to a bar and I got to leave at 11 o'clock because we know the virus only spreads after 11, I go home.
Don't go to the bar.
Home, where we've been told that in-home spread is the bigger problem, correct?
Right, because you've been in a bar and you catch it in a bar and then spread it to your family members. How is this? Honestly... Am I the stupid one?
Correct? Do people want to ever game plan this out?
We're about to enter a big national argument, and that is when the hospitals have basically no COVID patients, but the virus continues to circulate among young people who...
Yeah, that'd be great. Because you know what? The new variants are more effective at getting the young people into the hospitals. Why don't you talk to Michigan right now about when the hospitals have no COVID patients? Because they're out of room. They're transferring COVID patients to other counties and they don't have the room for them. In Toronto, there are COVID patients, grown-up COVID patients, half of whom are under 60 years old, in the Sick Children's Hospital. That's what they call it there, Sick Children's Hospital.
Tend to have asymptomatic infection or very mild symptoms. Is that a health emergency?
And that's, by the way, that's the UK variant in Ontario. British Columbia right now has the Brazilian variant, and it went through 18 members of the Vancouver Canucks. Right now, my Oilers, I don't know if you're familiar with their logo, it looks like that. Right now, my Oilers have no more games until Friday because the Vancouver Canucks can't play because they all got the Cove.
Or not, and you're going to see a national argument break out over the month of May over that, because that's probably what's going to happen over May. So there's trade.
I hope so. I hope he's right. I hope in May we have no people in the hospital because of COVID. That would be super duper awesome. Guess what? It's not going to happen.
It's not a matter of we're being overly cautious as if caution is good. There's trade-offs, and let me know if you ever hear Dr. Fauci or Dr. Walensky ever talk about suicide from kids getting shut out, from businesses being...
Okay, so a kid can't go to a restaurant, so he kills himself. Let me know. Let me know if you ever hear a doctor saying that. A licensed doctor.
Starved, or from the harm of profound isolation. They don't talk about that.
Let me throw a stat at you.
How about that kid eating outside? Doesn't have to be isolated.
In March, employment in eating and drinking establishments, restaurants, bars, 1.8 million jobs below pre-pandemic levels. We got 74 million people fully vaccinated, 22% of the population. Over, I think on Saturday or Sunday, we got 4 million in one day. Yet we still have our medical officials walking around with 2 masks. What kind of incentive is that to get people?
Well, that leaves more than 3/4 of the population who haven't been fully vaccinated. But how is this confusing?
Who are on the fence to get vaccinated. What changes? I still have to go home and sit. I have to go home and sit alone with a double mask.
Look, let's make it very.
No one is asking Brian to sit at home alone with a double mask. They are asking him just to go home.
Simple. You get your.
I was just at a party and they told me, go home, Brian. Go home.
Vaccine, you wait a month for that immunity to kick in and live a normal life.
Thank you.
Now, if some business wants to have a mask policy for an indoor public gathering, just respect that for a few more weeks until we get to a better spot. But live a normal life, and that's why people should get vaccinated, and that's how we're going to deal with vaccine hesitancy, liberate people.
Right. So what was the last 3 minutes?
Don't tell us that you cannot shed the virus once you're vaccinated, and then tell us don't go anywhere, don't go to an establishment. Do you have any restaurants?
Oh, okay, but there's other people at the establishment. How do they know? You don't get vaccinated for yourself, for the most part. You get vaccinated for the community as a whole. You don't go into a situation and wear a mask to protect yourself. As a whole, you go in there because there are other people. 22% is nowhere near herd immunity.
Are losing zillions of dollars because of this arbitrary 11 o'clock curfew, and then you have America's doctor who has a doll of himself out there circulating, which he thinks is hysterical, tell us not to go to those places. Do you know?
I don't think Fauci made the doll, did he?
The people have leases due, restaurants want to hire employees, they order food, and then you have Dr. Fauci telling people to stay home. That's totally...
Restaurants want to hire people, they order food.
Irresponsible.
Well, I will tell you, Brian, I don't think it's representative of how everyday doctors think. A small group of people are making all the decisions here, and they may be really good at virology, but they don't know anything about implementation science, about public policy, about poverty, about education, and they don't know anything about rationing.
People in poverty don't go to restaurants a whole bunch.
We haven't done a great job rationing the scarce resources.
Dr. Makari, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
So he's very pro-vaccine, but which is great. Let's just concentrate on that part. People get vaccinated.
Brian.
All right, straight ahead. Fox News alert: a deadly mistake claims the life of a 20-year-old in Minnesota.
We hate it. We hate it. We don't want to talk about that. I think that's about it, kids. I'm winding down. Let's see if they do any diner talk or if we have some other really cool guests that we need to watch. Nope. Riots, riots, riots. Border, border, riots. Border, riots. Border, border, riots. The same doctor thing again. Bring that back for an hour. Something sad. Teen victims. Oh, and then Boehner. Hold on. Let's see what Boehner has to say. Okay, here we go. This is John Boehner, former Speaker of the House.
Investing in water systems. So
I think it is. I could only see the little thing. It's just too depressing, Bridget. I just there's nothing we can watch. It's wall-to-wall coverage right now. There are so many other things going on in the news. But if you turn on CNN or MSNBC, it's the trial in the morning, and then all afternoon, evening, it's riots and protesters and stuff. It's all very important, but it's heartbreaking. And if you want that coverage, it's out there. We're gonna talk about other things.
Americans can have clean water infrastructure.
It just infuriates me. I feel my chest gets tight. Coming from a family that's mixed race, having lived and traveled. I never lived in South Africa. I lived in Swaziland, next to South Africa. But having to travel through South Africa with my mixed race family, with my brother who was very significantly darker than I am, with everyone in my family who's very okay. All human beings are significantly darker than I am, but yeah, I just it's not a fun time for me.
We're investing in high-speed rail infrastructure.
Yeah.
We're building charging stations, investing as well in asbestos-free schools for our kids.
Sounds
That's
good.
investing in infrastructure.
That is infrastructure.
Building a support system to take care of our elderly parents and our kids with disabilities at home. We need to build the infrastructure of today, not repair the one of yesterday.
All right, let's bring in John Boehner, former Speaker of the House on this, worked his way up from a lawmaker in Ohio all the way up to the most powerful position in Congress. His book...
So he hates Ted Cruz, by the way. There's an audio recording of him doing his audiobook where he just doesn't have good things to say about Ted.
Is out today. It's called On the House, a Washington memoir. It's been just camped as #1 on Amazon. Mr. Speaker, welcome.
Well, good morning, boys.
Morning.
Nice to be with you.
Hey, I want to get into details of the book, so does Steve.
I know it's early in the morning, but God, I hope he's been drinking.
But I do want to ask you about this new definition of infrastructure. I know you've been out of this for a while, but is elder care and health care and child care part of infrastructure?
Well, this is apparently a new word for the Green New Deal. Because if you look at the bill that they've put forward, it covers everything that the far left has ever wanted. Listen, if we're going to do infrastructure, why don't we talk about traditional infrastructure?
It's in there. We're good to go.
Roads, bridges,
Yeah, in
dams,
there. In there.
locks,
Yep.
transit systems. Those are
In
the
there.
things
In there. Just talked about it. The Amtrak. That's transit. It's in there.
that were typically
Yeah.
in an infrastructure bill.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. That's in there. Good to go. Thank you, judges. I didn't even know you guys were still here. Why don't you head home? Oh, you guys are having a party up there. All right. Didn't tell me about it. Wait, is it a surprise party for me? That's weird, guys. I didn't hear a ding there. Is it not?
Again, now they're trying to use what's going on, as you know, Mr. Speaker, right now to pay for and fund this gigantic $2.2 trillion infrastructure thing that is not completely infrastructure, as you point out. But
that's right. And a bill has to be about one thing and one thing only.
But then again, at the same time, the administration says we're going to do it in a bipartisan way. And
it's because I'm harmful. That Jennifer says that. That's why they're having the party. And I'm not invited because it's harmful. Oh, really? Okay, apparently you're correct.
And Anita Dunn is quoted in the Washington Post as saying, if you looked up the word bipartisan in the dictionary, I think it would say support from Republicans and Democrats. It doesn't say the Republicans have to be in Congress, which is a new way to describe it, because usually when you're talking...
Yeah, no, Republicans across the country, independents, Democrats, everybody loves what's in the infrastructure bill, except those in Congress.
About bipartisanship in Congress, you're talking about people from both parties in Congress, not just a person on the street who's a Republican who likes your policies.
Well, there's been a lot of talk and a lot written about the schism in the Republican Party. But what you haven't seen a whole lot written about is this giant schism in the Democrat Party. Joe Biden being a traditional Democrat.
Oh, okay. But this guy right here that's talking, he's one of the talking points of the schism going on, because he keeps calling Ted Cruz an asshole and recorded doing so.
He's got these far left-wing progressives that he's catered to ever since he was sworn in. And at the expense, frankly, of working in a bipartisan manner.
Yeah.
But this...
Okay, so what's the schism? Joe Biden is cooperating with the far left. Waiting to hear about this schism.
This little fight between the traditional Democrats and the far left is about to come into full view for all Americans, because when it comes to this infrastructure bill and the so-called pay-fors, increasing taxes, they're going to have a long road to hoe, because what Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren want is not what Joe Manchin and the Democrat senators from Arizona want.
Right.
And it's going to be interesting to see this play out. Frankly,
and yet none of them are calling each other names.
I think you have the same problem in the House. Speaker Pelosi has a very narrow majority, and they're going to have their challenges as well.
Yep.
Are they going to?
Yeah, that's nothing new about that. It's not a schism.
Lose the House? Are Republicans going to win back the House? Is that almost that die been cast, being that they have so many state houses?
I don't know that the die has been cast, but I expect that Republicans will gain seats as a result of redistricting. Historically, after the president of the one party is in there 2 years, the next election, the party out of.
They're talking about gerrymandering. Republicans won so many houses in the 2020 state houses, and they determined the districts. And so what they do is they gerrymander the districts. They change the districts so that they pack in Democrats into one district, and that way Republicans can win more districts because all the Democrats are being packed tightly into 2 or 3 districts, which then leaves more Republicans in more districts, and you end up congressionally losing the House. That's why the 2020 election was so important, and we should have done better in the state houses, but no one was really paying that much attention to them.
Power gain seats.
Sure.
And so it's pretty clear to me that Republicans have a very good shot at winning the majority.
In the beginning of your book, you talk about how in 2010, Barack Obama took a shellacking, as that's his word, from the voters because of his policies and whatnot. And then a bunch of Republicans wound up in the House. You were the Speaker of the House, and in the beginning, because the incoming class didn't know how to govern, so you tried to show them how to do it. But they weren't really interested.
All right, he's boring me now. And it's almost 11 o'clock. Boy, I hope Lindsay's not watching anymore. If you're East Coast, go to bed now. I'm going to play the credits. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about what show we should binge watch. We're going to have Binge Club, and we'll do it together. But we'll also, you can do it separately. We'll figure it out. So here's the closing credits, and then we'll come back after the closing credits. Okay, I don't know. There they are. And we're back. I don't even know if the volume for the music was on there. I hope it was. Otherwise, you just were watching silently, listening to me breathe, because I left my microphone on the whole time, so I won't forget to turn it back on. Yeah, so we'll do a binge watch. Hold on. Let's. I figure most people have Netflix. If you don't have the Netflix, let me know. Let's go to the Netflix here, and there we go. So there's a bunch of the TV shows. Continue watching. These are the shows that I watch. How to Sell Drugs Online. I'm enjoying that. It's a German show. Andy, if you haven't seen it, as I understand it, you speak German. It's kind of a cute show, and it's actually based on a true story. I'm not watching Outlander. I don't know why that's on there. That's some sort of mistake. I watched a couple of minutes of this guy. Last Chance U basketball. Oh, yeah, this Last Chance U. This is East Los Angeles College. That's where I went to junior college. I watched a show about the last Blockbuster. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. That's great. Community's a great show. Check that out as well. And my next guest needs no introduction with David Letterman. All of them are great. If you haven't seen them, check it out. And Arrested Development. Greatest comedy series of all time. With the exception of maybe MASH. Trending now. Here we go. Arrested Development is still trending. Is that amazing? Schnitzel. We could watch Schnitzel. No sports. We're not going to watch sports. These are just shows that I checked out for a specific reason. Dairy Girls. I've never seen that. We could watch that. The Serpent. Oh, yeah. Someone was let's see. Limited series. Let's check this out. Chris Wilson was talking about this one. Good night, Jennifer. The Serpent is limited series. So The Serpent is 8 episodes. The other suggestion that had come in quite a bit was Unorthodox. And Unorthodox is a quick series as well. Let's check out and see how many shows Unorthodox does. Unorthodox is 4 parts. So I think that might be a good thing to start with. I know some of you have seen it. Was there no music? Hold on to my closing credits. Okay, I fixed that and we're back. Oh, how interesting. Hold on. Netflix, you can't watch Netflix over Chrome, so people can't stream Netflix. Isn't that funny? I can't show Netflix to you guys over this app, so Chrome has blocked me from doing that, which is fine. I'm not trying to show you guys Netflix. Outlander is good, yeah, but I'm not going to watch that. Just no interest. Romantic nonsense period piece. I have watched some of it, and it's not my cup of tea. If you guys are interested in watching Unorthodox, it's 4 long. That's what I think what we'll do. But what we're going to do, maybe we'll come back tomorrow and talk about that. Maybe earlier in the day, so the East Coast can be involved and the Europeans can watch as well. So we can do a Netflix party, and they have that, and you can chat during it, and everyone kind of watches their own Netflix. I'll look into that. I'll see how that's controlled. Does anybody have any objections to watching Unorthodox as our first binge? What's it called? Binge club. We'll call it binge club, and we'll do it just like book club. But we'll have the opportunity to watch it together. We don't have to watch it together. You can watch it on your own time, and then every Wednesday or whatever we decide is the day, we'll have a little discussion about, and we'll do a Zoom call where everybody can be on screen and talk about it. But we'll also broadcast that so people can also chat along with it. We'll figure it all out, and it'll be the biggest sensation ever to hit the web, and we'll do it just when COVID hits so that everybody is at home, and it little late on the idea, and I'm sure it's out there already. Hold on, let's see if other people are doing Binge Club. Binge Club. There might be a show. Binge Club on Facebook. It's a Facebook group, and welcome to Binge Club, a space to talk any and all things TV, from Game of Thrones to The Hills. Okay. Good for them. 3.7 members. We'll do that, except we're not going to do it on Facebook. We'll have Zoom calls and chat and everything. So I will just be the moderator on that. Unorthodox comes highly recommended by producer Joanna. I'm all for it. Okay, so we'll watch Binge Club. And we'll talk about that tomorrow maybe, or the next day. We'll figure out what's a good time, and noon or something, or 1 o'clock when people are on their lunch or their East Coast. But I also want the Europeans to be able to take part in it as well. Anyway, it's time. It's now, 11 o'clock. That's it. I've been telling myself to be in bed by 11 o'clock, so I think I'm going to do that. And I didn't even have time to do the elliptical today, which is okay because that saves my calf. And I got a doubles tennis match. The first doubles tennis match of the producer Joanna and I are playing mixed doubles. Our first match is on Saturday. Oh, I wish there was a way I could stream it for you guys, but streaming tennis is really, really difficult. So anyway, we'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about there should be a word for this, like the post game. Yeah, we'll call it the post game. We'll talk about weight loss and post games and everything. Bye, Andy. And we'll see if we can't. Andy, do you have Netflix? He's probably got to go. He's got to go do his day. It's 11 o'clock, which means it's Thanksgiving where Andy is. We should, huh? The trouble, you can't, like tennis, because it's so wide, you guys would never see anything. Even if you GoPro it, and you've got the wide angle lens, super wide angle on the GoPro, it's everybody's so tiny and the ball is so it doesn't work. I've tried recording tennis and showing it to people, and it's not good. You could do a 2-camera setup. Anyway, okay. Anyway, so guys, everybody have a good day. Everybody have a good night. Everybody get good sleeps, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, just one more thing. I am really sorry that you people are all so jealous. So jealous.